Last night I went through the prologue. Unfortunately, I didn't have my mic on most of the time until pretty much everything had happened, so you didn't get any reactions as I went. Um, Most of them, however, as you might expect, would be what the crap, what the heck, holy crap. Just, yeah, all the stuff with the psychic kid who my best guess right now would be it's Psycho Mantis, but that might be a little bit too easy. I don't know. And then whoever this buddy of his is that absorbs all fire and all kinds of shrapnel and bullets and whatnot. Um, don't know what's going on there, but we'll see. Very good opening. It threw me off a little bit there. You might have seen, I actually turned off the stream for a little bit while I was making my character. I don't know if that might have anything to do with Metal Gear Online or if that was just completely Kojima trolling everybody. But I did take a little bit more time than I should have on that because I was like, I wanted to make him look like Snake. I wanted to make him look the same, but there was no option for that to even come close. So I started trying to make him look like myself, and then I ended up just kind of settling on something, and then of course nothing happened. But yeah, you will have seen everything in the opening on the previous stream. I'll be uploading that to my YouTube channel like usual. And then from here on, I've got probably about an hour that I can play right now, so we'll see what I can do. I normally like to have a longer amount of time than just an hour, but I'm dying to play this too. So instead of playing Battlefront, I'm playing this right now. So we'll be starting at pretty much the very beginning of Chapter 1. I watched the opening scene last night with, okay, Episode 1, not Chapter 1, but still. I watched the little opening scene, which, okay, it's showing again here.
The area ahead is under total Soviet control. Miller's been captive for 10 days. Not much time left.
Weather will clear shortly.
Storm's passing.
And one thing that I should note, so that people don't have to go and dig back through the first part if they're watching now, I did decide on turning off the, I forget what exactly it's called, but the reaction shooting, like when you get spotted and you have the bullet time, I turned that off right now. I may end up turning it back on, but since I'm just playing on normal, I would like to have a little bit more of a classic Metal Gear Solid experience with some challenge to it. It may be a little bit more needed on the harder difficulties, but for now, we'll just leave it off.
Solo infiltration of the Soviet main ground forces. Should be the perfect one. Kazuhira Miller is being held in Dawandehar to the north. Check its location now. Take out your iDroid. You see Wandi on the map? That's where they're keeping Miller. Only problem is, we don't know his exact location. Finding it is your first priority. Go ahead and close the iDroid. Out your binoculars? Or should I say, your int scope? See the village? Straight ahead? Alright, that's the village. If you see something through the binoculars and you need more information, just give me a call. I'll tell you anything I can about it.
Oh, cool.
That's Violo Village. The Violo Calais. The villagers fled the war and evacuated a while back. Since then, it's become a base for the Soviets' 40th Army. A few days ago, Miller was taken through there, en route towards Dewandehar. You may be able to pick up the trail there. It's worth a shot. Put a marker on it so you don't lose track of where it is.
Pretty sure I already did that
target,
with the
boss.
thing. But
Use your binoculars to focus in on Davialo Calais village and mark it. Good. Now you won't have to worry about getting lost along the way. You can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days, tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. But we need more intel. If you just go charging into Dewandehar, you'll be putting both your lives at risk. See what you can find out first. The Soviets have other outposts, not just the one you saw. Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. From here on out, you're on your own. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. Put those 9 years behind you, and return as Big Boss. That's how Koss would want it. I'll be sending additional intel by radio. Stay sharp. Not one of Miller's bodyguards survived. And they were good. All we found on the scene were their corpses and knees.
yeah.
They'll be missing them. And you're his only hope of getting them back. Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
Slightly different hand gesture. Alright. I was getting ready to listen to something that I had over here. It looks like that might just be the same stuff that we heard. Okay, those probably are, but this isn't new.
You were hospitalized in Dikelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dikelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory.
Talking about the whale, that has to do something to do with what we saw last night.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dikelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dikelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all had their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames. And then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different. You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't go sailing the Suez in a whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road.
And then?
We continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons. Then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It's gonna be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
Okay, this is gonna take a little bit too long for what I was wanting. How long is this one? Okay, I can listen to that.
I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Alright. We'll have to listen to the other ones later, because I want to get going on this. However, let me take away that second marker if I can.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to go faster. There we go.
That's marking. Focus on a thread and it'll be marked automatically. You can mark enemies and vehicles by zooming in with your binoculars or camera. Once they're marked, you'll also see their positions on the map.
Whoa! Whoa!
Looks like he's the only dude in that area.
Yeah.
Hold it. There's a Soviet guard post. There are bound to be guards. Take a look with your binoculars. Put the enemy in the center of your field of view.